We have quite the game on our hands today, everybody. Forza 6 Apex. We've wanted a Forza game on PC for a long time, and we finally got it, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is not at all what I thought it would be. Forza has always been a distinct racing game. Ask anyone, they know what Forza is. But this game is awful. Let's get into the game real quick and I'll show you what I mean. First, let's look at the settings menu real quick. You have your audio, video, HUD, input, help, and credits. Audio's kinda bare, and I never really expect much from audio settings in games. So long as I can adjust the game volume, dialogue, and sound effects, I'm normally okay. And a master volume is great as well, but this game doesn't even have that. There is a master volume, but then you have in-race music, menu music, playback, subtitles, and quality, and these aren't scrollable. Just on and off, which is pathetic. I don't understand why I see better volume bars in indie games than I do AAAs, but I guess to them, this is professional. And before you say, well, this game was made for console, this game was promised to be fully optimized for PC. If you promise it, you better deliver. Let's look at the graphics settings. This is bare as well. The game has an interesting feature though that I actually really like, where the game dynamically adjusts your game's settings as you play, and it tries to ensure that you're hitting a steady frame rate at the resolution that you play at. And honestly, I'm okay with this, especially since you can click on this little setting right here and adjust the settings yourself if you please. However, the sound effects in this game are some of the most annoying that I've ever heard, and you'll hear more of those later. I mean, come on, who does this? HUD is pretty standard. Glad it's there, but you probably won't adjust anything here. Input options are very well done. I wish that they would let me customize the controller to whatever I wanted, but this is normal that most games just set profiles, and I just use the default one for the controller. You can also use the mouse and keyboard, and all the menus are mouse supported, which is very, very nice. Help and credits are pretty much useless unless you like reading boring stuff, so let's just jump into the game itself. You have your campaign missions here, your medals, spotlight, free play, and driver record. Underneath, you have all your other little tiles that you probably won't use besides settings, and it's easy to see that this game is a Microsoft game. They have a certain look that they always use. Windows 8 looks like this, Windows 10 start screen looks like this, Windows phones, the Xbox, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's just something I noticed. So there are 12 missions and I've only played 5 of them, and the reason is because they're tedious, they're frustrating, and they're annoying. The game claims itself to be a driving simulator, and I feel as though that this was a way to justify its terrible mechanics. The cars handle like crap. There's an auto brake and an auto steering and an auto traction that is defaulted to on. Now I turned it off and realized very fast why it was defaulted to on. The game holds your hand not because it feels like you're too stupid to drive, but because without it holding your hand, you'll not be able to, and it's not your fault. The driving in this game was designed by someone who's never even seen a car before. This is supposed to be realistic, but I can't even drift correctly. I cannot turn while I brake. At least the colors for the cars are nice. The game is very beautiful, and honestly it's one of the prettiest racing games that I've ever seen, but graphics are not enough. Let me show you a race where I drive with the assist on. And now I'm going to show you a race where I drive with the assist off. I'm normally amazing at racing games, and I'm great at driving simulators. But hey, maybe it's me. Maybe I don't know how to play, and if so, that's fine. But when designing a game that anyone should be able to play and enjoy, you might want to actually fulfill your claim at racing simulator instead of making terrible racing mechanics. Holding my hand and blaming me is unacceptable. Another thing that infuriates me is the sound for this game. Every time you hit the brakes, every time you drift, you hear the same exact screeching noise. The tires make this noise regardless of the action, and it is annoying and terrible. It is the most annoying game that I've ever played, and that is no understatement. I've never before gotten angry at any game because the sound was awful, but listen to this. Let me get back to the color choice real quick. That is something that I really like about this game. The cars are beautiful, and because they're real cars, you can actually see what they would look like with whatever paint job that you like. Honestly, the whole game looks absolutely gorgeous and plays at 4K with ease. The game is really small, and so are the maps, so it's easy to see why it runs the way it does. I've rarely experienced a frame rate drop that I could actually see, but you have to bear in mind that I am running this game on a 980 Ti. Also, while I recorded this, I noticed that the frame rate dropped significantly. The game really does not like to be recorded, so please take that into consideration. Now, the game may run well, but the load times are atrocious. It takes a very long time to load the game initially, as well as get into each race, and that's ridiculous. I'm not sure what's going on with this, but it shouldn't be that way. Not for a game like this. I don't care how amazing the game looks, this is unacceptable. And you may say, well, Barry, you've played games in the past with much longer load times, and you liked them, like Red Dead Redemption. And this is true. Red Dead Redemption had excruciatingly long load times, but the differences are that it was on console. Games on console I can excuse because their hard drives are slower, and I actually enjoyed that game. This game doesn't make me feel like I have to continue playing it. Every time I start a game and I'm loading into a race, I think to myself, you could always just turn back now. Alt F4 works on this game, and that shouldn't happen. I should want to play. I should be excited for every race. And this isn't coming from someone who studies game design. I don't know what goes into game development, but this is coming from a consumer, and that should be more important. The problem with this game is that there are far more cons than there are pros, and I'll go over a few right now. When you first download the app and boot it up for the first time, it'll ask you to sign into your Xbox Live account. Now, I had an Xbox, so I have an account. And when I saw that it wanted me to sign in, I thought, oh, okay, so there's a multiplayer option here, which is really nice. I get an Xbox exclusive, still don't have Microsoft grabbing for monthly Xbox Live money, and I get to play online. But no, the game has no multiplayer, no same-screen co-op, and no LAN co-op. It's strictly single-player. So why in the hell did I have to sign into Xbox Live? So you could see how many people were playing on PC? I can't think of any other reason. Here's another con. After the 5th race, the game asks you to go to the App Store to download another app so you can access new cars. This is a terrible idea, Microsoft. Way to further instill us on the idea that we aren't playing a game through a DRM, but are playing an app through the App Store. A casual gamer plays games through an App Store, and a casual gamer opens other apps to get exclusives. We want to sit down with a controller or keyboard and mouse and play the game. We don't want to jump from one store page to another. Just put all the content into your games. Making us feel like casual gamers is not a good way to develop a player base on your Windows Store. Another con is the length of the game. No, I have not yet finished it, but the races take about 5 minutes to finish, and there are only 12. That's not a lot of content, especially when there's no online multiplayer. I don't really see how I'm supposed to stay entertained after I beat it, and maybe that's the idea. This is a free game, and many will argue that they wouldn't want to develop a full game for free. But the reason they made the game and made it for free was to promote the Windows Store as a game store for PC gamers. So why would you do such a lazy job? That doesn't make any sense. If you went above and beyond, I would have been wishing I could have paid you for this game. But Forza 6 Apex was free, and I want my money back. It simply doesn't feel like a lot of time went into it, and that's sad because again, PC gamers have wanted a Forza game for years, and you just kind of pooped this out. But the game can't be all bad, right? There are pros. Well, the only pros that I haven't yet talked about is the game has no timed microtransactions, meaning that this is not one of those free-to-play games that let you play 3 races and then say, oh, you're out of gas, come back in an hour and you'll have refilled, or you can spend 20 gold to fill up now. Honestly, the game doesn't feel bombarded with microtransactions. They don't jump out at you, and I'm glad that Microsoft at least had that much respect for their game. If this were Konami or EA, this game would have been screwed. And the second pro, the game is free. That's it. There's nothing other than that, and I think that makes 3 pros in total. The third one being that the game looks and runs great. Overall, this is one of the worst experiences with a free-to-play game that I've ever had, and I've played a ton of them on my phone and computer. The game is obnoxious, it's loud, it's annoying, and all around a disgrace to the Forza franchise. I have never hated a game more than I've hated this one, and if this game is to represent what Microsoft wants for the Windows Store, count me out. I know they're taking baby steps, and I'm sure that they're working on it. This isn't the first time that they screwed up with DRM, if you can even call the Windows Store DRM, but Microsoft, you need to be careful. This is the 4th major title that you've put on your store, and out of all of your Xbox exclusives that you have ported to PC, they've all been kinda bad, at least through what I've heard. I've only played this one. But if you keep going in this direction, you're going to fail on the PC once again. Don't you dare think that we forgot about Games for Windows Live, and this is your last chance. If you screw this up, you're gonna have to try to rely on consoles. And for anyone out there who enjoys this game, I'd like to say that I envy you. I don't know what you see in this game, but I'm glad that you can and are enjoying it. For me, this game is awful, and I can't stand to look at it. I may not even finish it, and I'm normally never like this. I hate this game, but who knows? Give it a shot, maybe you'll enjoy it. The game is available on the Windows Store for free. I mean, I guess you may as well. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.